What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 95 of commercial diving school. It's the weekend. Today is Friday. We finished up the dives for this week, and we did 2 dives today, one to 132 feet and another one to 70 feet in the afternoon. We also had a flange project to work on. It was just basically 2 flanges and some bolts we had to put together, and I'll tell you about that. But first, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and leave any comments or questions for me down below. So again, this morning we set up, we did our first dive to 132 feet. From leave surface to leave bottom was 30 minutes total. I think total decompression, the point from leaving the bottom of 132 feet to the surface was a total of 42 minutes. So the entire dive together was an hour and 18 minutes, and that goes for all of the 132 dives we've done so far. And to start it off this morning, comms were horrible again. Like, everything else works, but comms is just terrible. Like, for some reason, like the comms wires that go to the radio boxes and everything, like they're fine, like everything's good, but just for some reason they don't want to work. It's just the weirdest thing. But so we had that issue we had to work through this morning, but we got through it. Yeah, on my first dive, both me and my partner that I usually dive with, usually one of us has comms, but this time neither of us did. And we're kind of in groups of 4. Like, you have your partner that or your buddy that you dive with, but you're also in a group of 4. And then so there's 2 groups, so there's a total of 8 divers in the water, and then so the 2 guys that were in our group of 4, they had comms, but me and my partner didn't. So that kind of sucked, because usually I can relay stuff to him, but not this time. We had to talk to the other group or the other 2 divers with us. But it was also super cold, so when we got out of the water today, I was freezing. And what kind of sucks is the main thing you're focusing on when you get out of the water is getting the next group of divers in the water. So when Alpha group gets out, Bravo group has to splash. So we got to get our neuros done, which means the neurological exam where they have you do rapid hand movements and heel toe, walk in a straight line. Just basically testing your cognitive ability, see if the deep depths, the nitrogen and everything didn't affect you too much. And so nobody ever has any issues with that. It's just a cautionary thing that we do. But anyways, after that, you hop swap with somebody, and then you basically tend or jump on comms so that they can splash and get in the water. And that has to be done before you can go up and change into your normal dry warm clothes and your jacket and your pants and all that stuff. So you have to sit in your cold wetsuit in like 40-degree weather. Some days, like yesterday, I want to say it was like 30-degree weather. You're just waiting until you can finally, and not everybody can go up and change at the same time. Like I think 3 guys at a time can go up and change out of the 8 that just dove. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, but I mean, we only have 4 more days total that we're gonna be diving, so we just got to get through it. So yeah, super cold, but after lunch, we did our dive to 70 feet. But before we went down to the 70 feet, remember I was saying that we don't spend the whole entire dive at 70 feet. We only spend like the last few minutes of the dive at 70 feet, because you spend the least amount of time at your deepest depth. So when we were at 20 feet, for most of the dive, we were sent down a bucket on a line, and then that bucket had like basically 2 flanges in it. If you don't know what a flange is, it's basically the point in a pipe that has the bolts that kind of go around in a circle, and you can take the bolts out, and there's usually about 8 bolts that go around. Well, we didn't have a pipe, we just had a flange, and I think the flange was made out of plastic. It was really light, and then it had about 8 bolts to it, and we basically were sent down the flanges together with the bolts in it, and we had to take the bolts out, and we were sent down, 1 1/8 wrenches, 2 of them, so big wrenches that we took apart the bolts and everything, and then after you disassembled it, you reassemble everything, tighten it back up with the wrenches, and then tell them up on retrieval to send it back up topside, and then they check it out. You also lose points if you lose any like bolts or nuts or even washers. So I think we lost 1 nut because you're doing it on grating, like metal grates basically, so anything can slip through that real easily, and it just sinks all the way down to the 240 feet to the bottom. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. Like I said yesterday, we did a small little tiny project yesterday. It was just nice to be able to do something, so you're not just twiddling your thumbs or blowing bubbles, as they say, the whole time. You're actually doing something, so that was cool. But yeah, we finished out our 70-foot dive. Luckily it warmed up by the time we got out of the water for that dive. And then some interesting stuff today that doesn't necessarily have to pertain to diving, but affects us in Ocala at the Deepwater Training Center, is that they sprayed our rooms for bugs today, because there's tons of bugs down here, like mosquitoes. I'm scratching right now because I got a mosquito bite literally right there on my hand from the mosquitoes. But yeah, they just they're really good about spraying and everything to make sure that we don't get bugs and all that stuff. And I'm also doing laundry right now. There's 2 washing machines, and it's kind of like not too far of a walk, but it's not like it's right next to our rooms, so you got to walk to them. 2 washers, 2 dryers. They actually take card or quarters, so if you don't have quarters, which is like all the time, nobody has quarters, and there's no change machine either, but it does take card, so you can swipe your credit card in it, and it's $1.75 to wash your clothes, and then I think another $1.75 to dry your clothes, if I'm not mistaken, but around there. So it's like what's that, $3.50 just to wash and dry clothes every time. And I've been washing and drying clothes like a few times a week, because I have 2 towels, and I use both 2 towels like every single day, like drying, because we're getting in the water, getting wet, drying, and then showering and all that stuff. So it's just like, kind of wish the washer and dryer was free, because we're divers and we're getting wet all the time. So, but anyways, that's really all I have for you guys. The only other thing is what we got coming up. We got to dive Sunday. We have 2 dives actually on a Sunday, and then we have a dive on 2 dives on Monday. We have another 175-foot dive in the Bell, the same one we did this week on Tuesday. We got to do that whole thing again. So decompress in the chamber again. We get to bring our GoPros this time, so I'll be filming that for you guys. And then we dive on Wednesday. It's the last day that we dive. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So today's Friday, so we get at least tomorrow for Saturday to kind of relax, and we get to have visitors from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So that's going to be kind of nice. And then we clean up on Thursday, and then we graduate Friday morning and get out of here. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Stay tuned if you're interested in any of that stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and leave any comments or questions for me down below. I will see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope we have a great one. Peace.